Alan Miles here. We're going to be using a Muso maths formula to calculate the BPM increase or decrease when MIDI triggering a loop in a sampler. A friend of mine said to me, you know, you load a loop into a sampler and then you play it at higher keys or lower keys, the BPM increases or decreases, doesn't it? How can this be worked out, is what he asked me. Well, we can use a Muso maths formula to calculate the BPM increase or decrease when MIDI triggering a loop in a sampler. 2 to the power of S divided by 12 times the original BPM, where S is the semitone difference. And that sounds complex. Stay with me here. That 2 to the power at the beginning of that formula that I've highlighted in orange, I remember having problems with that myself. I wasn't into maths, so here's an explanation of it. 2 to the power. This symbol means to the power. This describes how a number increases. In this case, 2 to the power means the number 2 will start a doubling process each time, to the power of whatever comes after it in the formula. It will increase exponentially. For example, 2 to the power of 5 is 32. This really means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 32. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. The number increases in a doubling fashion. The to the power symbol gives you a shortcut to carry out the exponential multiplication. On the calculator, the to the power button can be represented in 2 ways. I'm going to show you that now. So let's do a simple example of 2 to the power of 5. Get up the calculator, View, Scientific. There you go. And so, there's the to the power button, y to the x. 2 to the power of 5 equals 32. And that's exactly the same as going 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 32. 2 to the power of 5 equals 32. So that's a handy little shortcut. We should be able to apply the to the power symbol in our original formula. I've already worked out the BPM of this loop and it's ready to be loaded into the EXS sampler. It's 64.3195 BPM. So now it's been synchronized to the loop, we can load the loop into a sampler. Select Audio, convert regions to new sampler track. Then select regions and the trigger note range from C0 to G8. And then say OK. So after you've done this, the original audio loop has been muted and now it's been loaded into a sampler instrument with a MIDI region that has the loop triggered by C0 in the piano roll. Now double click on the blue EXS24 instrument box to access the modulation panel, then select the Edit button and it opens up the Edit window. We've assigned the loop to C0, but if we want to trigger on any MIDI key, we need to set the key range. So let's set the key range down to C-2 to G8. If you can't see that, just go to View and View All. Drag that all the way down to C-2, and then that one all the way up to G8. And now the key, that loop, will be spread across all the keys. And we can play it wherever we want. And it gets faster and slower when we play it away from its original key. So we can work out what the BPM of that is using this maths formula. So I'm going to go up, how many semitones there? 9, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've raised it up by 9 semitones, so it'll increase the BPM and the pitch, and we can calculate this. So here we go, let's do it. 2 to the power, open brackets, of 9 divided by 12, close brackets, equals, times the original BPM, which is 64.3195 equals, so the new BPM is 108.1720. enter that into the transport BPM area, round up the 4 figures after the point, because Logic doesn't like doing it itself. And now that's synced perfectly using that maths formula. So what if we want to trigger the loop with the MIDI key below the current one? For example, 3 semitones down from the current value. Well, this will still work. 2 to the power of -3 divided by 12. So let's do it. -3 we have to do first. Divided by 12 equals -0.25. So we've worked that bit out first. I'm going to copy that. So now I can go 2 to the power of -0.25 equals that times the BPM. And there you go, that's our new BPM using that formula. Post it into the BPM area. And it synchronizes perfectly. So let's do it to another example. The aim and break. It loops perfectly. I've calculated it to be 138.8274. So select audio, convert regions to new sampler track. Go through the same process, regions, trigger note range C0 to G8. Press OK. And now let's access the sampler edit window so we can map it into a key zone. Double click on that blue icon, then select the edit button, and then drag that all the way down to C-2 up to G8. And now it's spread across the keyboard and we can play it anywhere. We've created a key zone. We've mapped it across a zone on the keyboard. So I'm going to increase the aim and break by 5 semitones. 2 to the power, open brackets, 5 divided by 12, close brackets, equals, times the original BPM, 138.8274, and that's our new BPM for 5 semitones up, 185.3123. Put that into the BPM area. Remember about your rounding up the 4 figures there, as you can see. Logic won't do it correctly for you. So let's move that up 5 semitones, and it loops perfectly again. The maths can be relied on. Now you should pause and rewind and check this out. So that's the formula we use to calculate the BPM increase or decrease when MIDI triggering a loop in a sampler. You can pause and take this in. My name's Alan Miles. I'll see you later.